Hi everybody, and big welcome to cEDH TV gameplay. Me, Pontus and Rograkh, this time joined by Centric. So I'm playing Elsha of the Infinite. This is Yes Guy Storm basically. We have Birgi, Dockside, Dragon's Rage Handler, Draenite, Esper Sentinel, and some cool horde of different artifacts, enchantments, and instants and sorceries.
Today I'm playing Malcolme Tymna. Still the same deck, it's a bit slower than it has been historically, with like some more mid-range pieces, and a new addition in Downey, which should be pretty interesting for this deck since it triggers mostly creatures and both the commanders. So let's try it.
Hello everyone, I'm playing Rograkh Tevesh. This is a stacks deck that does its plan pretty quickly compared to other lists. It's a polymorph list with Sire of Insanity and Void Winnower, and it's got a pretty unique stacks package and a lot of board interaction. So the plan is to cast some spells and make sure my opponents don't.
Me, I'm playing Bad Sauron, or Grixis, and all the things that you get from it. But the nice thing about Sauron is it's a sort of backup. If you put Thassa's Oracle in your graveyard, you're able to cast him. You know, he's very expensive, but we have all the good stuff that makes this a deck that can really withstand playing without its commander. This is Spicy Spice Spice. We do have Vampiric Tutor, which is awesome for being player one. We could throw this down, and then on the end step, cast it, especially if there's like a fish or something of that sort. And then we have Windfall. Yeah, eventually I think we could get, if we got sort of Mana Crypt and things like that, we could throw that down and Windfall, draw a new hand, things like that. That's what we like to do in this pod anyways, right? So we also have Simian Spirit Guide, which is really great for interrupting if we have Red Blast. Looks like there are at least 2 other opponents who are playing in blue. So that could be good if they do like a turn 1 Malcolme or something like that. You know, if they want to put all the resources into it, or Elsha, if they're able to get them out pretty quickly, we have some stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it and ship it to...
So sadly we had to skip Centric's mulligan since his setup doesn't really work with our process of recording. But let's go with my mulligans, and I'll draw first 7. So part of me doesn't really want to keep this hand. I have to say though that part of me isn't really reasonable. This hand is just really good. What basically makes it really good is the Gemstone Caverns. If we didn't have a Gemstone, it's still good, but less so. But yeah, this is always a good hand. There is a bit of conflict in how we play it though. We can go just turn 1 Esper and like slow play it, or we can do the DT immediately. We can go for like a turn 1 Esper, turn 2 DT, or turn 2 Rustic, which is really good. But then the Twister becomes kind of awkward in our hand, and we get behind on developing commanders. We can find mana, but we don't have a Dockside sadly. But yeah, it's a good hand. Our draws just kind of have to shape what we do. We'll probably just do Esper Sentinel plus Tutor, but I'm not sure what we tutor for yet. But we'll see. Yeah, keeping it for 7. It's pretty good. Go ahead, Mons.
We have a turn to the One Ring. So if we're lucky, so gamble using Marsh Flats to find Mana Crypt, and then we just hope that we don't accidentally discard the One Ring to the gamble, and then turn to the One Ring. That's solid, that's keepable. We could dig deeper, but I think we're gonna stick with this. As I noticed that we're going up against a stacks deck that could start to like become annoying, it's kind of safe to just have the One Ring in your hand to make sure that you're getting somewhere with it. I don't know exactly how fast he could be explosive, but he could definitely play something like a pseudo rule of law effect quite early in the game. So I think we're going to keep this hand, as this is a very adaptive hand. We can play this and not be demanding that our commander is doing something. So the One Ring is usually going to be fine and take us to places. And with that, let's start the match.
As a pregame, I will put in this Gemstone Cavern, exiling a Arid Mesa.
Draw card per turn. Land per turn is a Wooded Foothills, and I will crack it and fetch, grabbing a Badlands and passing the turn.
Untap, drop, play a Scalding Tarn, fetch up a Badlands. Tap the Badlands, play a Mana Vault. If that's good, tap the Mana Vault, floating 2 mana, play a Manifold Key. Activate Manifold Key, targeting my Mana Vault, 1 mana floating, cast a Karn the Great Creator. If that's good, run out a Roger. I will uptick Karn, targeting nothing, and I'll say go.
Take my turn. Land for turn will be a Bloodseed Mire. I'll then cast a Esper Sentinel, and then I'll pass turn.
Draw a card. I'm not gonna lie, that Karn the Great Creator really destroyed everything right now, as the One Ring was the plan. We can't do that. This hand does not have any form of way of getting our Elsha into play that fast and efficient. We could, I guess, use the gamble to potentially find Ristic Study. I don't have the mana to cast Rhystic Study until like turn 3. So I think we are honestly just going to hope that we draw into something and keep the gamble for a little while and hopefully be able to ritual out Jeska or Elsha or tutor for Rhystic Study. But for now, we can't do much. I'm gonna play a Marsh Flats and an Urza's Bubble and pass. To pay for Esper, I will find Plato and tap it to pay for this. Then I pass.
In your end step, I will cast Vampiric Tutor, not paying for Esper Sentinel. Finding the card that I'm wiggling here, putting it on top of my library, and I'll take my turn. Untap. Arid Mesa is land for turn. I'll crack and fetch. Finding a volcanic island. I'll exile Simian Spirit Guide for red. Tap these two. Cast Rhystic Study. Not paying for Esper Sentinel. Rhystic Study resolves. So I had to pivot to grab this one because, I mean, I really couldn't do anything if I was going to get Mana Crypt and then maybe try to do a wheel or something of that sort. So this just seems like the best way to back things up and sort of see how it goes.
Untap, upkeep, trigger Mana Vault, go down to 38. Go to my draw step, draw for turn. Cast Dark Ritual, not paying for Rhystic Study. Or Esper, yeah. Black mana to my mana pool. Spend 1 to use Manifold Key targeting my Mana Vault. That's good. I'll tap the Manifold and use the floating to cast a Tevesh. Rhystic's good. I will uptick Tevesh, sacrificing Rograkh. Okay, if that resolves, I will draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. A Prismatic Vista as land for turn. Fetch a basic mountain and basic swamp and pass the turn.
In your end step, I will crack my fetch. I'll find Undercity Sewers, and as it enters, I will surveil 1. I will leave that card on top, which is weird, and then go to my turn. Play a Exotic Orchard as land for turn. Tap 3 for a Tymna, not paying for a stick. I'll move to combat and hit Rhetoric for 1.
No blocks.
Post-combat main phase to null trigger. I'll pay 1, draw 1, and then I will move to cleanup, discarding this Mox Diamond.
Draw a card. Ugh. I'm playing Otavara Soaring City, and I don't hate Karn one bit. I am contemplating my life choices, and I think I have to pass.
Tap and draw. Land for turn is a City of Traders. Tap this Volcanic Island, City of Traders, cast Windfall. Not paying for Esper. Windfall resolves, and we all draw 8. All right then. I will then tap Badlands and cast Gamble. Gamble resolves, so let's go find a card. Found the card, I'm wiggling it here, I'm going to randomly discard, and it's an Orcish Bees. Sadness. Other than that, I will pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, Mana Vault trigger, 36. Go to draw, no effects, draw for turn, play Mana Crypt. Trigger Heuristic, trigger Esper, pay for both. If my hand was good, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but it's okay. Mox Ember, Lotus Petal, yes, Rhystics on these will be paid. And then, actually, Rhystic on one of them will be paid, the other can draw. Use the floating, untap my Mana Vault, uptick Tevesh, do 7, making 2 thralls. Just gonna go ahead and say go.
Go to my turn. I will tap 3 to cast a Delning, not paying for a stick. Then I'll move to combat. I'll swing 1 at once and 2 at Rhetoric.
I take 2.
I take the damage.
So damage, I'll gain 2 life, but then in post-combat main phase, Tymna will trigger twice to Delny, so I'll pay 2 to draw 2, and then I'll pay 2 to draw 2. Post-combat main phase, I will play a Windswept Heath as land for turn, and then I will move to cleanup.
I have effects in your end step. I'm going to Brainstorm. I'm not paying for anything, you can discard more cards, Pontus. Brainstormy thing resolves, I will draw 1, 2, 3. That's funny. That one back, and that one back too. And then I have no further effects in your cleanup. You can discard cards.
So I'm discarding these cards, and then my turn is over.
And my begins. I'll play a Bloodstained Mire, sacrifice it, finding a Volcanic Island, and Rhystic Study. I'm not paying for the Rhystic Study, and I'm not paying for the Esper Sentinel. Card draw party!
No, I don't have a Bowmasters. I will respond with a Fire Covenant. I think I'm gonna let you draw Reddick, and I am gonna pay for the Esper Sentinels. Oh wait, sorry, no, I can just pay for everything. Yeah, I'll just pay for the lot. Let's pay 5 life.
I would like to fetch in response to this. Finding a Tundra, tapping Tundra to Swansong the Fire Covenant.
Okay, I'm super psyched about that.
Not paying for a stick.
No responses.
Ristic study. Could have been swan-songed, but Pontus prioritized his board. I'm happy about that. I'm back in the game. I passed the turn.
Okay, draw for turn. First, I'm going to tap City Traders for 2. Then I'm going to play Flooded Strand. Sacrifice this, so I've got 2 colorless in the pool. And then I will tap this and fetch. Fetching up a Steam Vents, just counting up the mana. I'll go down 1 colorless, tap Badlands, and cast Demonic Tutor. Not paying for anything. Go ahead, guys. Demonic Tutor resolves. I'll go fetch. Then I will tap Steam Vents and cast Chain of Vapor, targeting Karn.
I will cast a Swat. And I will target... Yeah, targeting Chain of Vapor. Yeah. The lot is good.
No response to Deflecting Swat.
Chain of Vapor is going to target... I could target your Ristic, but then you'd sack one of your lands and bounce my Karn, and then we're back where we started. I'll target my Mana Crypt.
I am going to go ahead and discard. I've got no other effects, so give me a second. Gemstone Caverns, Dark Confidant, Mana Crypt, Tales of Indulgence, and Ad Nauseam.
Okay, untap, upkeep. I'm going to have a Mana Vault trigger. I'll just take the damage. Go to 30. Shock in a Blood Crypt, down to 28. Tap Snow-Covered Mountain to activate Manifold Key to untap my Mana Vault. Tap Mana Vault with a colorless floating to cast a Rograkh. I think you guys are good to draw. I would like to uptick Tevesh up to 8, attempting to sacrifice Rograkh. Okay, draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Cast a Blood Moon. I'm paying for your Ristic. Not paying for Esper, paying for the Ristic. Not paying for yours, Mons. You can draw.
I don't want this game to go on for hours, so I'm going to...
It's gonna end instantly. If this resolves, you guys are dead in like a turn rotation.
I'm going to cast pitch Spellseeker and cast Force Negation.
Yep,
not paying for Esper or Ristic.
That is very unfortunate for the home team. That has been Force of Negation. Each player loses 1 life, discards a card, sacrifices a creature, then sacrifices a land. Smallpox. Dowsing Dagger.
Discarding marsh flats.
I'm discarding a Cursed Totem.
LED for me.
Uptick on nothing and say go.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Mana Confluence, and I'll move to combat. I'll hit Mons with Delany and Rhetoric with Tymna.
I'll take 2.
No blocks.
I'll gain 2, but then post-cast main phase, Tymna trigger twice. I'll pay 2, draw 2, and then pay 2 to draw 2. And second main, I will tap a blue to cast a Mystic Remora, not paying for a stick. After Remora, I will just move to cleanup. So in cleanup, I will be discarding these cards, and then my turn is over.
And my turn starts. Let's go with an Urza's Saga. Trigger it, putting a counter on it. I'm discarding these 6 cards to hand size, as losing a land is kinda hurting, as I can't have artifacts either, and here I'm passing the turn.
In your end step, I'll tap Volcanic Island for a Mystical Tutor, not paying my taxes.
I will misstep your Mystical Tutor, not paying my taxes.
A Mystical Tutor is countered, and I will untap and draw a card. Land return is an Underground Sea. I'm going to tap 2 and cast Underworld Breach. I'm not paying for Fish or Ristic Study.
I'm passing on Breach.
Strangely, I'm passing on Breach too.
All right, Breach resolves. First, I'm going to escape 3 cards via Simian Spirit Guide and then 2 lands to cast Mana Crypt, not pay my taxes. Great. I will then exile 3 more cards. That'll be Phyrexian Tower, Command Tower, and City Traders to then cast Lion's Eye Diamond, not paying. All right. Then I will tap 1, and I'm going to exile 3 more cards from my graveyard to cast Chain. I am going to target Karn with Chain of Vapor, not paying my taxes.
In response to the Chain of Vapor targeting card, I will tap my Exotic Orchard for a white. Cast a Silence, not paying for sticks.
Silence resolves.
Chain of Vapor targeting Karn resolves. And I will choose not to copy.
Okay, I've been silenced. I have LED and Aurora Breach. I have nothing else, so this will be sacked. And yeah, I'll be sad and pass.
Upkeep, 26, draw for turn. My Karn to get countered on the way back down by Tymna, Malcolme, and then lose. Mox Amber to activate Manifold Key, targeting the Vault. Tap the Vault, tap the Blood Crypt, put a Karn on the stack.
Suddenly I don't care about this looking at my hand, so I pass, I guess. But I'm going to Urza's Bubble in response first to draw a card before I get to my turn. But then I pass on the Karn, actually.
Yep, I'm going to uptick it, targeting Lion's Eye Diamond. Uptick Tevesh. There are now more thralls, and I am going to pass the turn.
In your end step, I'll tap 2, take damage to cast a Orcish Bowmaster.
Yep, that is an Orcish Bowmaster.
Not paying for heuristics.
I have a response to your Orcish Bowmaster. I'm gonna Swords to Plowshare Delny before you have like double Tymna, double Orcish Bowmaster here. Not paying for any heuristic study or any Mystic Remora.
I will pass on swords. So Bowmaster will ETB and just once shoot card. Then I would like to go to my turn. Untap Upkeep Fish Trigger. In response to Fish Trigger, I'd like to tap Under the Sewers to cast a Muscle Tutor. Not paying for heuristics. So 2 heuristics will draw, so I will have 2 Bowmaster triggers. I'll do both in Karn. And then Muscle Tutor goes to Resolve. Put the Windfall on top of my deck. Then Fish Trigger, I will pay. And then I'll draw for turn. Also in Upkeep, Mons will get to draw from his Bubble Trigger, which will trigger Bowmaster again and put Karn to 2. First of all, I'll move to combat. I'll hit Rhetoric for 2 and Mons for 4.
I take 4.
No blocks. Take 2.
I'll gain 2, and on post-combat phase, Tymna trigger, I'll pay 2, draw 2. Land for turn will be a City of Traitors. I'll tap City of Traitors, leave 1 colorless floating to cast a Sol Ring, not paying for a stick. Yeah, killing card. Cast a Mox Amber, not paying any taxes.
I'm gonna draw a card.
I'll have 2 pings go at Mon's face, because he isn't black and needs some extra love. Still have 1 mana floating. I'll cast the Windfall, not paying for heuristics.
I will draw from this, drawing a card.
I'm not going to draw.
Mons draws, so I will ping Mons for 1.
You have casted more than 1 spell, or more than 3 spells, so I'm going to Mind Break Trap your Windfall. Not paying for any fish or heuristic.
Rhetoric draws, that will trigger Orcish, Mons will take 1, and then I will draw. I will Force of Will, pitching the Force of Negation, targeting Mind Break Trap. Rhetoric draws, and I'll deal 1 more damage to Mons.
I will also draw, and you can deal 1 more damage to me as well. Guys, we have a very funny play right now. If my math is correct, if one of you can just cast 1 spell, I think we can kill Pontus here. Team effort.
Yeah. I'm looking at if there's anything I can do with Flash, anything of that stuff, and I'm not seeing anything.
I have a really funny, cool card called Brain Freeze that is really hard to counterspell. And if I, counting the Storm right now, I mill him, and he's going to like draw cards enough to basically deck himself here. So I'm going to draw like 1 card from Force and Oh, I actually haven't drawn a card yet for Windfall. I just realized. I should be at 20. I'm at 19 currently. So I go up to 21. Windfall will make everyone draw 20. If I Brain Freeze him, Storm is 6 plus 7, 21.
So
how many cards are left in your deck library again?
Deck.
43.
Are we?
So I would have 1 card
We need
left.
to mill 22 cards, yeah.
So he's 1 card left in his library.
That's very.
Can any one of you
tragic.
cast like any spell right now? And he's dead.
I cannot. I've got rocks and a meltdown.
This would have been such a cool way to bamboozle. Alright, I will draw a card from the Force of Will at the beginning. You have a Orcish trigger.
You can take 1 Mons.
Holy.
And in that case, we are going to Flusterstorm the Windfall. As Storm is kind of high, I don't think you can pay for this that easily.
No, you're fine.
I'm not paying for any heuristic or fish.
Rhetoric will draw, and I'll ping you for 1. Then my Windfall is countered. No, then I draw, but Windfall is countered. I'll tap a Mox Amber for black. Cast a Reanimate, target my Labman. Not paying. Not paying.
I will draw a card.
I'll have 2 ping triggers. I'll ping Tevesh for 2.
I am going to find my Mental Misstep and pay for heuristic study, can't pay for fish, trying to counterspell the Reanimate. Because who knows, maybe you have a consult in your hand.
Draw. A bit late. Misstep will resolve. Then I will tap my Exotic Orchard for whites, use my color floating to cast a Dranith. not paying any taxes.
I'll draw. Everything's going
I'll
perfect.
ping Tevesh for 2 more. With Dranith in play, I will discard a Water Grave for cleanup and pass turn.
We're going to untap first. Did you really have to cast a Draenite Magistrate? I have like emptied all interaction on all of you, and I don't have enough
Skill
mana.
issue.
Oh, I'm not casting this. I'm gonna draw a card for turn and pray. That did not hit it. Why? Land drop Arid Misa. Sacrifice that. Finding a Tundra. Land drop. I actually think we have found a solution, maybe. I will cast this Helm of Awakening, not paying for anything, so both of you can draw cards and I can take 2 damage to my face from the Orcish Bowmaster. Now all reduction is basically so this Mana Vault is for free. Redrick can draw another card and I take another damage to my face. I go to 18. I'll tap this for free colorless. Use one of that to cast a Fellower Stone. This can basically convert now colorless mana into colored mana, but also I will cast, oh yeah, you got to draw another card and I take another damage from the Orcish Bowmaster and I cast this Talisman of Progress and another damage and another card for Redrick. I'm then going to cast a Lion's Eye Diamond and once again I take a damage, Redrick draws a card, and now for the final nail in the coffin, Dress Down, and Redrick can draw another card. Dress Down is on the stack. Do you have anything, Redrick?
No, I'm staring at a win in my hand and I'm gonna be sad. Go ahead.
Dress Down is going to ETB and remove all creatures' abilities, basically. This is going to remove the Orcish Bowmaster and the Draenei Magistrate all in one. As Dress Down enters the battlefield, I have a draw trigger on the stack. I'm going to respond to that by casting a Lightning Tutor, and I'm not paying for any heuristic study here, or a fish. I'm gonna find Unwell Breach and put that on top of my library, and then draw into the breach. I'm going to cast the Underworld Breach, and I am not paying for anything. You can draw cards, guys.
I'll show you this Mindbreak Trap.
Good for you, Pontus. Now I have 1 floating, 1 blue here. I'll take a damage, and because of Helm of Awakening, only 2 mana instead of 3, I'm casting Fierce Guardianship. Please don't have more. As I don't actually have any more interaction in my hand, I can actually sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond, I guess, to pay for the heuristic study. I can't pay for fish, but I'm paying for heuristic study by sacrificing my Lion's Eye Diamond. Floating 2 red mana from the Lion's Eye Diamond. Fierce counterspells Mindbreak Trap, and now I have the Lion's Eye Diamond, and I've already revealed Brain Freeze that I really wanted to kill Pontus with. I'm kinda sad I didn't get that one out. Any case here, I'm able to mill out all of my opponents, more or less. I can destroy heuristic study in the process with my Pyroblast, so I don't need to worry about that part, and also destroy the Mystic Remora as well. Once I've milled out, I'm not going to mill out myself entirely, I'm just gonna mill out myself a tiny bit, and then continue building up Storm by casting a few cards here and there, and then cast a form of card draw effect for my opponents, so they die. So after a lot of really cool tricks, there's a lot of different ways we can get here. We can start using Blind Obedience to kill opponents. We can try to destroy the Draenei Magistrate and the Orcish Bowmaster and create a very strange loop by removing Dress Down, using Time Twister, or using Torment's Crypt and the Brain Freeze and milling out my opponents. They have been drawing a lot of cards, so milling them out is not that hard. And then after milling them out and basically removing their entire libraries, stacking up a good hand with potential counterspells, and potentially also time twisting, so make sure that their hands are not that great, milling them again, and from this point basically pass turn. So there are a few strange ways we can win from this point. In any case, GG's Elsha victory. That was a very long, interesting game. Karn, the great creator, was MVP in my opinion. Pontus was super close. I was really feeling safe sitting there with Flusterstorm, hoping Pontus would not have Fluster, hoping to kill Pontus with Brain Freeze, but still we got a cool win anyways. Draenei was super scary, but after some calculations with Helm of Domination, Helm of Awakening, and Dress Down, everything turned out great. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next time. And thank you, Centric, for coming here, by the way, and playing with us. Don't come back with Karn.